Welcome to the Business Outlook Survey press conference call. My name is Catherine Dibling, Senior Media Representative with the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia's Public Affairs Department. And with me today is Mike Trebbing, Senior Economic Analyst in the bank's Research Department. And today we will take questions from Ellen Freilich of Reuters and Kathleen Madigan of Dow Jones about what our manufacturers had to say about business activity in August. But first, Mike will give a brief statement. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Kathy. Good morning. Responses to our monthly manufacturing survey showed that regional manufacturing activity weakened notably in the first several months of August. Diffusion indexes for general activity, new orders, shipments, and employment were all negative this month and fell from positive readings in the previous month. Along with reported weaker activity, firms reported a moderation in cost pressures as indicated by lower readings of our prices paid index. And consistent with overall weakness, more firms reported declines in prices of their own manufactured goods than reported increases this month. The broadest indicator of future activity fell back from the improvement shown in July and indicate expectations that some growth in new orders, shipments, and employment are expected still over the next 6 months.
Questions. Ellen Freilich of Reuters.
You said some growth in new. What did you say, Michael?
They're still expecting growth in new orders, shipments, and employment over the next 6 months, as indicated by still positive readings on the 6-month diffusion indexes. We saw them drop back from last month, but not as much, and as the overall current indicators, and are still positive.
Mike, did you get any sort of, did you ask for any particular comments, or did you get any unsolicited comments?
About a third of the firms provided comments this month, and they were general comments. They really did not focus very much on all the other activities going on. The debt ceiling debates and debt downgrades in the European situation. As usual, we got comments on the positive side and negative side. They were on the side of more negative this month than in the past, especially focusing on declines in new orders, which was consistent with what we saw in the indicators as well, especially for new orders, where we saw a relatively large increase in the share of firms reporting declines in August compared to July.
Kathleen Madigan, Dow Jones.
This is just a miserable report, and of course the markets are reacting as one would expect. What can you characterize? What's behind this? It was just a shocking number.
Right. Well, keep in mind that the collection period for the survey ran from Monday, August 8th through the 16th, so it's overlapping this 9 days or more of unusually high volatility in domestic and international markets. So we have had situations in the past where we've seen those kind of events affect sentiment type indexes like this. The comments didn't really focus on those things, and we tried to, we didn't do anything unusual this time. We've been doing the same thing for over 40 years, and it was the same set of questions, except for the one about seasonality in the special question. But that's what we do every month. We ask a special set of questions. So I can't help but think that some of the appraisal of what's going on out there is showing up in these numbers. And the good news is that the expectations aren't showing the same kind of expectation of declines over the next 6 months. They're still holding up, but they're not great numbers, but still not paralleling as much the decline in current indicators.
Follow-up questions. Ellen Freilich of Reuters.
Yes, I'm just wondering, Michael, every July, let's say in previous Julys to August, do we tend to see declines at all, even if they still remain in positive territory?
Mm-hmm. Right. The special questions really highlight that focus too. seasonality is important
Right.
in indexes like this, and we do adjust for those declines in production that are expected, especially in July, and also some in August. The question really did focus on whether seasonality was important, and over a third of the firms did say that seasonals affect monthly production. They haven't grown in importance according to these firms, and 29% of the firms did have slowdowns and shutdowns over July and August, but they characterized them in the responses as not being particularly different from in past years.
So you said the 29% of the firms have slowdowns in July and August?
That's correct.
That's different from the last.
That's right. And then we asked them.
Just for, and the diffusion index, you do those seasonal adjustments or you don't?
Oh, of course we do. Yes.
You do. Okay.
Yes. So the data is seasonally adjusted, and we have no reason to think that the seasonals are causing these kind of drops. And when we look at the seasonally and non-seasonally adjusted data, we see the same declines in the broad indicators, and also when we group the firms into different categories of industries and even compute an industry diffusion index, we saw the same kind of declines, as well as we look at the same firms that report in 2 or 3 consecutive months for patterns of we're looking for sample bias, and we didn't see that as well.
Follow-up questions, Kathleen Madigan, Dow Jones.
None for me, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen, do you have another question?
Do you think that this is going to persist, or you think we might have a little bit of a bounce back in September? I know that's a stupid question, but I'm just asking it anyway.
Yeah, I don't like to speculate about these numbers because they're really giving us current information of from just a couple days ago, literally. The last collection day was Tuesday, and again, all I can point out is that it was an unusual time for doing the survey, and the other thing to point out is that these indexes are very sensitive to rates of change in particular, but or level changes. It doesn't say much about how much decline, but only the pattern of increases and decreases across a large set of firms that report to us monthly. So
wait, so the pattern of increases and decreases, but not the levels?
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the level of production. I mean, it could be just a flattening out, but everybody's showing declines this month, and that would have a similar effect of declining, making the diffusion index fall. So
Yeah.
it's a summary of qualitative data from firms, and we only ask them about the change from the previous month. So we only ask the firms about the change in all of these indicators from the previous month, and the diffusion index is intended to characterize that composition, if you will, of firms increasing and decreasing. So it gives us a guide as to the direction of all these firms in a given month, but not about levels.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you again in September.
Thank you so much.
So,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
You've just been watching August Business Outlook Survey press conference call. My name is Catherine Dibbling, Senior Media Representative in the Public Affairs Department of the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia. And with me today has been Michael Trebbing, Senior Economic Analyst in the bank's Research Department. We will post next month's Business Outlook Survey on our website on September 15th at 10 a.m.